Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to another episode of Wrestling Collector Zone. Today what I've got for you is an unboxing, or should I say two unboxings, maybe, something like that. I've got two different boxes here. One I knew kind of was on its way. When it came in, I didn't know what it was because it was weird. No markings on the box really. It just says from Highspots.com. So I did have to pop open one side to take a quick little glance, and I immediately knew what it was, and it is the Highspots wrestling like loot crate that they have, or the wrestling crate they have. They put out that I'd signed up for. So I'm really happy that's here. I'm excited because we had already did the Pro Wrestling Tees crate, and I love opening stuff that I don't know necessarily what's going to be in there and be a surprise of it, especially wrestling items. It's always that great feeling knowing there's something special in there. And then the other is again from Highspots.com that I don't know. Well, it's obviously an order, but I don't know what the actual order was. So that's kind of a surprise to me too. It's something that I must have ordered during their auctions because I haven't been ordering too much from Highspots lately. But I have ordered a couple things. They do their weekly auctions and stuff. And especially on Saturday, the late night, they do owner's table auction, which I guess is like the owner or one of the head guys at Highspots, that they have tons of different stuff, and it's just amazing deals tossed right out there, bare bone prices, what they can give and everything like that. So I'm not sure which one I really want to start with. Let's go ahead. I want to grab this. Toss that. I guess I'm going to start with, actually, let me go ahead and start with this. Just because it's eating at me now knowing what I actually had ordered. So, let's start here. See what we got to show you guys. Or we got to show me too, because again, like I said, I do not remember what I had coming in from. Okay, so let's first start. There is a DVD here. This one was a special one I wanted to pick up. This is CZW Once in a Lifetime. And it has when Onita had made his way over to America to do a match for CZW. And with this, it's got quite a few interesting looking matches. And this was in 2017. So I'm really excited to check this out and see how this turned out as an event. And then other than that, looks like there's a couple autographed pictures with certificates of authenticity. One is being a Kevin Owens when he was the Intercontinental Champion in WWE. The next one is Zack Sabre Jr. He is currently a wrestler for AEW. And then this one was really interesting to grab because I remember this when I was a teenager, and I always used to try to get a hold of Japan wrestling tapes, FMW mainly from Japan, when tape trading was popular which a lot of you guys may not know what tape trading was. Tape trading, there was the community of wrestling fans of like when there was VHS that people would make copies of their wrestling tapes, and then they would make trades throughout the community to try to get other wrestling shows, events they didn't have, or best of stuff like this. Well, this was one that was interesting that I still remember was an FMW, and they had this poster. Highspots had this poster, which was interesting, and it's signed by Onita, but it is from when Sabu and his uncle, who trained him, the original Sheik, had went over to FMW, and it was, they had wrestled Onita and Tarzan Goto, I believe. And this looks like it's labeled as 5/6 of 1992, so that's when this had happened. They had had a fire death match. Now, it really wasn't thought through very well, and it actually kind of ended in disaster, and a lot of people could have became injured from that. But it was like barbed wire ropes. The best I can remember was barbed wire ropes, and then they had this kind of like cloth or something wrapped around the barbed wire, and it was soaked in like a flammable liquid and lit on fire. Well, what ended up happening from the weight of the cloth, it ended up like ripping off or whatever and dropping onto the wrestling ring, and it caught the wrestling ring on fire. And what ended up happening within the match, the wrestlers kind of started in the ring, and then they got out of the ring, and it just became an all-out brawl all over. And I didn't ever get to see the full match, but I saw clips of it, and it was just really interesting. I questioned where that thought process had went to, you know, like how did they think it was going to end? How did they think it was going to really work out too much, especially with that much fire involved around the ring? And even worse, you know, the crowd wasn't moved back any further than what they normally would be from the ring. So I thought that this was something real special that I had to pick up. As you can see on the certificate of authenticity, it's got Onita doing the autograph, and I just really, really wanted to pick this up because I thought this would be a great one to have. And I still remember that to this day. Maybe one day I'll be able to come across the footage. Why not look on YouTube or something, you know? But I might take a look at one of these days on there or something and see if I can find the actual whole match to see what really all had transpired and happened. But it was, I remember just being amazed during that time when I had heard and found out about that. I'm like, you know, I didn't hear about it in the 90s because I was 3-4 years old, but I had heard about it in like the 2000s when I was doing tape trading when I was a teenager. And it's just like, once I had heard about that and I first started watching death matches, it was just like, what? Are you kidding me? What were they thinking? To, you know, and professional wrestling of all things, and in Japan they've done so many different crazy death matches. Like in Big Japan wrestling, they've done circus barbed wire death matches and piranha death matches, and there's supposedly alligator death matches. Never saw one of those, but I've always heard the myth or legends of those. So it's just like insane how Japan started a tradition of deathmatch wrestling, and then they started like involving some very, you know, it went from barbed wire or weapons here to just like all out crazy things that could disastrously go wrong and end up injuring or killing a lot of people. But thankfully, as far as I know, that hasn't happened yet. So just keep it up. And you know, next let's check out this Highspots Crate. Like I said, I'm very interested to see this one. I was very happy with the Pro Wrestling Crate, Tees Crate, because of the fact of what they offered in their crate and how much it was. You know, it's a little pricey, the high 30s, about $40. I think it was a little over 40 with shipping, but you get like an amazing value. Just like the 2 shirts alone in there pay for the crate, and then everything you get past that, it's just well worth the value. Well, I don't know, I've never even seen a Highspots box or crate unboxed, so I want to see the value that they offer, because they are a large company. They're one of the very few, I don't want to say very few wrestling merchandise related, but technically they are one of the very few wrestling merchandise like related only companies that provides like a lot of the DVDs, the shirts, figures, autograph merchandise, everything. So let's see what is in here. First, we got, this comes from Pro Wrestling Tees, and it is the Marco Stunt Pen. Very interesting to see that. I know I have seen this online with a couple people before that had got it in the Pro Wrestling Tees crate, so it's nice to get another pen that I don't have. Let's see. Next up, we have very nice. It is a Kenny Omega shirt. Interesting, and it being gray is a little unfortunate, but it is a really nice design. I really like it. So that's nice to have. Always a fan of Kenny Omega, so that's great to add to the collection. I will be wearing that. You guys will see it in one of the videos, I'm sure, very soon. Next up, let's see. Oh boy, a little excited about that. It is a Pro Wrestling, there's another DVD, but this is a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla DVD. Like I'd mentioned in the past, I hadn't seen really any Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Well, I had sat down, and I have a review coming up for you guys on a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla event that I had sat down and watched early this morning, and I was completely, I don't even have words for it, enthralled in it, watching it. I was amazed that it was anywhere from hard hitting, high flying, high spots, involving the crowd a lot. What it reminded me of was almost like the old ECW a little bit, but in this age and era. It was obviously with a lot of, you know, all the new talent, stuff like that, but, and this was an event from 2018, but I'll go in more into it with you guys during the review. But I was just completely amazed by it, and I was upset at the fact that I never took the time to watch any of the Pro Wrestling Guerrillas or pick up any of their DVDs over the years until all of a sudden now. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm really, really excited for this. And this is a 2019 event. So that's great to have a more current event. So really looking forward to that. Next up is Tremendously Awkward with Dan Barry and Bill Carr, featuring Grandpa Potato, Andy Williams. Never heard or seen of this, but that'll be an interesting watch. I will watch it, and this one will be one I make sure to review for you guys because I have no idea what it is. It's by Highspots, so it'll be interesting. But next is an autograph. I don't know what you get in here, like I said even. But this one is, and it's very interesting that they decided to put this in. So, like, because this had to have been really recent. Yeah, done August 20th, 2020. Interesting. It's Brian Cage with the FTW World Title with his manager Taz from AEW. So that's a real nice autograph. I'm not like a huge fan of Brian Cage, but I will say that I'm happy to add that to my autographs. And, you know, it's nothing wrong with having that. So, and then this one. Okay, so it's interesting. They did not provide. This is not an autograph, but it is, I guess, the artwork for a wrestling event that is streaming on Highspots Wrestling Network. It's called Prison Break. That's, I guess, the name of the event. And it looks like probably the main event was Mox versus Pentagon Jr. Really interesting. And in the back, I can't show too much because I don't want to lose it, but they actually provided this little card that has a code, password or whatever, for me to access the event. So I guess they're providing the event for free or whatever that you can go back and watch if you were a Crate member. I would say this overall was a pretty good value. The one I was most excited with out of this was the shirt and the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla DVD. I don't know how much this crate costed, so I'm gonna have to go back and try to find out how much it costed to really label and say if it was worth the value. I would say, at least right now, I'm happy at least with not knowing how much I spent on the crate. But I'm going to go back and find out, and then I'll let you guys know later what I think of if the price is really worth this crate, because they only include one shirt, but they included also an autograph, pen, 2 DVDs, and then a code to an actual wrestling event you can watch on their online service. So I will just have to go ahead and see. But it seems like a halfway decent deal. I'll just check out the price. That is the shirt one more time. Kenny Omega shirt for you guys to see. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it, like I said. I'll just have to see how much it actually costed and decide if I want to continue the crate or not. But I am glad to be able to share that with you guys in the opening, so that if you guys are interested in signing up, I believe you can just do it directly on Highspots.com's website, but I'm not 100%. But overall, glad to show you guys my pickups again, and the crate as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it didn't go too long for you guys. Glad to always be here and show you guys some of the merchandise that is on the market currently and past and present, you know. Otherwise, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Again, once we hit that 100 subscribers, gonna start flying with those giveaways. I'm so looking forward to those. Otherwise, great to see you guys again, and thanks for joining me. Very happy to have you guys join us, and I will see you next time. Thanks again. This was Wrestling Collector's Zone.